Today I'm trying something crazy and huge. A giant textured piece with many different and exciting techniques to spice up and make the background more interesting. We are going to be using all sorts of materials you might not expect, but they are all easier than you think, so you can try them at home. You probably haven't seen me working on such a big scale. For me, this is massive. It's going to be a very different episode because I was asked to make a prop artwork for a film. So that's what I'm going to do today. This is 20 by 24 inch big canvas. I want it textured. I want various layers. So I'm going to mix heavy gesso with sand and I'll create the first layer. This is my super heavy gesso, but I also noticed that I had unopened container with all-purpose filler. Maybe I'll start with this one. See how it goes. Ooh. I'll add some gesso to it so it's more liquidy. Actually, I found Mod Podge and I thought that would be probably better.
1 whole egg, milk. Hold the jug with one hand. The secret is to get that really nice smooth paste, but whisking that egg first and then you're milking.
Oh, that's a nice consistency now. Oh, that's so nice. I think this is going to be fantastic. All right, let me start with some gesso. I would like to achieve the effect of some uneven background, perhaps a bit like maybe like concrete. Time for the sand to decide where I want it. Oh, this is so nice. Oh, fantastic texture. I'm liking it. I also wanted to add this. I don't even know what it is, but it looks so nice. Use it as some glue. I want to make it a bit more sticky. And let's use some gesso as well. Oh yeah. Oh, this is so nice. It's funny, like I can get excited about some ridiculous material. This is going to be great once we apply color. Imagine that. Really liking it. Okay, leave this and probably add some more here. I'm very happy with this at the moment. They did ask me for some sort of troubled background and maybe some string and broken pieces, but I think I want to add some more. I can't resist adding maybe some writing here as well. Hope it's going to look nice. I don't think they'll be so well seen, but there'll be some hint of words, and that's all I want. Let's see. Oh, that didn't. I know why, because it was wet. I can see some of the letters, you know. It took too much gesso off. I think it should be dry before I apply that. I'll try again, but I bet this part is wet. I thought it would be dry by now, but it's not. Yeah, it's still sticky. See, this part was dry, so it's perfect. I'm really wondering what colors to use. I definitely want some blues and maybe contrasting orange as well, or burnt sienna, something that goes really well together. I also want some shadows. So I'm thinking and perhaps I should start with black or blue, and then I'll build up the layers. I want the black especially underneath those creations here, but I'll water it down. I want the colors to get in between all the crevices and underneath my intricate additions here. I've got a moist brush and black. Oh, this is going to be dramatic. Huh. I could have gessoed everything first, But at the moment, I think there'll be so many layers that I can survive without. This texture is so cool. Grey always looks good on everything. I'm liking it. Oh, let's introduce the blue now a little bit. Oh yes, with grey. This is so beautiful. It just give me any blue anytime, and I'll be so happy. Gorgeous, gorgeous blue. I can also spray some water and let the paint run down. I'll just dab it in. Look. That will get really into all the places that I couldn't reach. Oh, that's nice. Something to be said about sponge. So I'll continue enjoying myself. Personally, I adore the greyish blue. This is my favorite color, the color of my channel. So I just wanted to quickly mention that if you can't get enough of the content or want a more detailed, longer look at what I make every week, you can consider joining my Patreon. Every week I upload an extended version of my tutorials, and all the recent versions are twice as long as those on YouTube. Thank you so much to all of you supporting me on there. Spray this part. Like some paint to drip down. Maybe I should introduce another blue here, just a little bit. Turquoise with white, small amount. I think I want to introduce some of the turquoise perhaps here. This is like an intuitive background. You look at what you're creating and you see if you like it. There's no right or wrong here. How's that going to look? I do like the drips. Time to analyze the work and think what to do next. I do like the colors, I do like the drips. However, I'm planning a bird in the middle. I'm thinking that it's going to be too dark because my bird is going to be either a crow or a raven. If I put my bird here, it's going to disappear a little bit within the dark background. So I am going to introduce another color. I'm considering my options now. Browns, oranges, perhaps some beige. Thinking. Maybe I'll use spray paint first to lighten up the midsection. Thank you for being with me in this process. I always do it live. I don't prepare anything. I don't test it somewhere else. So that's part of fun, seeing what will happen and how to adapt. If I had something lighter here, I'll be happy. For example, a dove. If you remember me making this dove, I'm very fond of it. That dove flying here, a bigger one, would be fantastic, wouldn't it? But I want a different bird. As I said, I want to apply some orange or maybe brown. However, I can't scrape it down. That would be perfect because of my textured background. With a palette knife or credit card, I can only drizzle it or dab it in. That's the only solution. I can also do this. Take most of it off. It's actually pretty effective. I'm using tissue paper because I couldn't find a soft newspaper. Well, I think I'm going to try the orange. Let's see. Well, okay. Because I've got this texture here that really gives me an opportunity to add more color and on top and create those layers. When I started with my textured background, I added some writing here using the template, and I think I want to continue that in some places. I've mixed the same color as the background, maybe a bit more bluish, but now this is super heavy gesso by Liquid X and acrylic paint mixed together. Did I put a bit too much? The next stage for me would be looking at the actual bird and deciding on the position. You can also look at the silhouettes, outlines. You can take your own photo, of course. Okay, so time to draw, or copy if you want to. You can find a royalty-free picture, you can copy it, you can print it out. Started my raven. I don't know what's wrong with me. I usually pick a piece of paper that's too small. I'll continue it on the canvas. Once I'm happy, I am making it darker so it will transfer easily. And of course it's going to be this way. That's what I wanted. That's where I want my bird to be. So I am going to transfer it down now. It's going to be a bit funny because of the sand underneath. I'm actually curious how well it will transfer. I might have a look. Oh, absolutely fine. Okay. I was planning to make the raven 3D, at least partially. I think I want the head to be coming closer to us. So this is going to be made with my paste. And that's what I'm making, a little tube now. Those of you who've watched me before, you know what's coming. There are several of the videos that I've made before showing me mixing my paste, and I sometimes alter between heavy gesso and all-purpose filler. Sometimes I use both of them on their own, but occasionally I put them together, and that's what I'm going to do now. Of course you can buy the ready-made in any art shop, so perhaps half and half. Transferring my paste. Quite a lot. It's a big bird. That's the biggest bird I've made. I've got a tiny opening here. I think it's way too small. Going to cut a bit bigger. Not too big yet because I do want a small amount here at the very end. This is really thin, isn't it? So I'll be filling up that space, but I did want it small just for the pointy end. I think I'm going to be turning and turning to make it most comfortable for myself. So I want to fill up all that section. I'll make a bigger hole, definitely, because it will take me forever. How many of you like 3D work? Because I love a good 3D challenge. Personally, absolutely love it. This is the biggest scale painting that I've done for the channel. Not in real life, I did make bigger pieces. Okay, so I'm just going to cover the whole head with a blob of paste. I put the eye here so I know what it's going to be later on. I wonder if it should be a bit bigger or not. Quite huge. Okay, time to make it bigger. I'll probably have to redo the eye, of course, but at least I'll know where. When you have a 3D element, like a head and some 3D feathers, I personally think that it's easier to paint it. Straight away you've got some bends and shadows. I seem to work in phases, so I am thinking on my list I've got 2 more birds that I always wanted to make. Maybe I won't tell you, maybe you can guess. I might cover this bit because it's quite annoying. Why not? It's going to be sitting on the whatever they are. So let me change this one. Can I even change it now? Let's see if I can remove it because it annoys me. Even these are easy to remove. That'll be the end of my 3D fun. 24 hours later, the birdie looks dry. I'm not sure about those thicker sections. Okay, seems dry. However, I've never painted from the end, but I think I'll start on this section now. since there is no paste whatsoever. I don't want to introduce another color, that's why I'm going with Payne's Grey. Also, I'm thinking that the tail will be less seen. I could use black, but let me try with this one first. Trying to recover some of the shapes here, the wings. Remember, I didn't finish the tail, really. You see how blue it is? Don't know how much I want to be seen. I should probably completely blend it in here with the background. Okay, if I continue, the bird will kind of disappear. The white one was so well seen, wasn't it? But it's going to be much darker. This is just my first layer. I'm adding a little bit of Prussian blue and black because that's the color that I used for the background. I'm using dark grey now for the tummy and the legs and trying to cover it quickly. While I'm painting my base color for the bird, I've decided to have a look at some other raven artworks online. And yes, there's so many they kind of sit in a similar position. I haven't seen that before, but lots of them are sort of with the head turned. Again, blues and yellows. This one is a bit like mine, isn't it? But this one is actually, oh, look at this, computer generated. This is AI. Look at the feet. Oh my goodness. That's kind of a worry, you know? I actually saw that there's an artist on YouTube. Her name is Lydia Broderick. She made an amazing raven. Might want to have a look at this one. Beautiful. And again, a similar color scheme. Well, check her out because she's been making some awesome mixed media art using some techniques that have been my favorite for years as well, like added text and collages and stencils. They all seem to be looking good on this blue and orangey backgrounds. Covering the eye just for now. Her eye's quite cute. I think the beak has to be lighter grey. Probably many of you will agree with me that those legs are too thin for the bird. I'm leaving the legs alone. I'm much happier now when they're a bit more chunkier. And even those like lumpy bits, that looks perfect. The other one won't be really seen once I add the black and the grey. Now feathers. I think I can do the leg now. Both legs. Well, there we are. This is a very different piece to usual, but I hope you liked it. I think it's actually a lot more in my personal style, but there are lots of fun techniques for everyone to try here. Let me know what you thought, and if you would like to help support the channel, please consider joining my Patreon and getting access to extra content over there. If you really like my artworks, you can find them for sale on my website too, although this one is not available at the moment. I hope you all have a great weekend, and I'll see you next Saturday. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.